Good night. What's going on? Do I have to pay for ads? CS, I'm not sure what you mean. I don't do ads. I don't pay for ads. Z wants to buy a car. Let's do it. Clint, what's going on? How are you, brother? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you for everyone coming to hang out today. Is one pay lease an option or nah? No Skilled Games, it is. I would not recommend a one pay lease. Very little benefit, a lot of risk. Kind of same as putting a huge down payment on a lease. There's a lot that you could lose if the car gets totaled, so I just wouldn't recommend it. Did the Canadian 4x4 sell? Yes, it did, Mike. We did sell that. Lane, what's going on? How are you? Good to see you. Derek, what's going on? I like your content. I'm glad I caught you live. Clint, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoy the content. It means a lot. We'll do a little Q&A. What's the Amex perk? Robert, American Express program went away. I apologize for the confusion. Hopefully my videos that go out every day from the editing team will soon flip over to 2025 content, and that won't be confusing anymore. But do you guys still supply parts for 2017 E43 AMG? I think that shouldn't be a problem. Shouldn't be an issue. Homie's reading fake comments. I'm not reading fake comments. Elephant in the room, hello, what's going on? How's the Diamond G-Wagon search going? Derek, funny you should ask. I'll have an update on that shortly, even though the client fell off the face of the earth, so technically we're not looking for one for him anymore. But have some interesting developments. Any G-Wagon sales coming soon? We've always got some G-Wagon sales going on, but you know, most of the G-Wagons that are coming in now are pre-configured and custom built by repeat clients of the store. Doug likes to, what is that, ski? Okay. I don't know if that's some kind of joke I'm not picking up on, but I actually do like to ski. I snowboard now. Z, I am the manager. I'm the general sales manager. Jordan Collins, I've been told the AAA discount is only off MSRP. Is that true, or can it stack? I'm not sure I understand the question, but it can stand alone with any additional dealer contribution. So the dealership can discount the car above and beyond the amount of the AAA discount if they so choose. David, are there good lease incentives on the C-Class? Yes. David, I can only give you certain detail. I can only give you vague details in these live streams. I can only give you very specific details in one-on-one communications, just to be, you know, within, to keep things right and tight in the Mercedes-Benz world. So happy to discuss these programs with you all on an individual basis, as will my team. I can answer questions generally though. Are G-Wagon values holding up, say, 2021 normal mileage? Absolutely. G-Wagon values continue to be insane. Menards loves the content, proud to be an ex-Clevelander. Nice, I appreciate you watching, and I love that you're a Clevelander. Is leasing the best way to get out of negative equity? I argue that it is, simply because you really shorten your timeline to get that negative equity back down to zero, where you can start over and start fresh without negative equity. So it all comes down to, is your payment going to be similar on a lease versus a purchase? And to have a similar payment, you would have to have a 5 or 6 year purchase versus a 3-year lease. So the 3-year lease is going to be the better way to get out of that negative. Gus just purchased a GLE 53 AMG. Is it a good idea to put an extended warranty on the tires and the maintenance? If you leased it, then the maintenance is a no-brainer. If you purchased the car, then it may or may not make sense, just depending on if you want peace of mind. But the tire and wheel warranty packages, that is the #1 thing that we sell. Those really pay for themselves pretty quickly. Tires and wheels have gotten pretty expensive, so we recommend that on any AMG that we sell, really any car that we sell, but AMGs especially. So Anatar, have a 23 C300 lease ending in 3 months, return or buy? Definitely return. Anatar, unless you never drove it, your residual value is probably quite a bit higher than your buyout. But there are a lot of really enticing programs that you qualify for right now, including some loyalty incentives for having an expiring lease. So would love to chat with you about that and go over some of your options, because there's a lot of really good, I would look at replacing it with another lease now. How much does a minor accident on a car affect trade-in value? It all depends on the car. Depends on what kind of car it is, and it depends on the age of the car. So the nicer the car and the newer it is, the more it's going to affect it. Why would any non-business owner buy a new German car 2 to 3 years, low mile for 50% off MSRP? Alex, I mean, it really just depends. I mean, that's a very in-depth conversation, but you're looking at it just from one angle. Some people like to have new cars because they want maintenance costs to be low. They want to have all the newest technologies, and a lot of them lease it. A lot of luxury car buyers lease. So you're not really concerned so much with at what point you're buying the car, because you're only going to have it for 2-3 years anyway. In order to get out of a lease 6 months early, do I have to get another Benz? You don't have to. You can get out at any time, but you have various loyalty programs. It's a lot easier to get out if you're going into a new Benz. If you're going to go into another brand, then you lose all of those various incentives that you would qualify for. So thank you to everyone who's hanging out today. Please make sure that you're hitting the like button, if you would. That's very helpful to me, or the thumbs up button over on YouTube and Facebook. I really appreciate that. And if you're not following already, would love and appreciate a follow. And just appreciate you all being here. Mike Curtis is currently leasing a Volvo. First time leasing anything. Is there a way to sell it to a different manufacturer dealer at the end of the lease? There is. Certain brands make it difficult to do that. I think Volvo has rules on who you can trade it to. I think they might make it a little bit more difficult to trade it out to another third party. But with the cooperation of a Volvo dealer, there should be some ways to make that happen. Mike, what Mercedes EV have the highest chance incentives to bury the negative equity, and what is the incentive? You want to be looking at either an EQB or an EQS sedan. Those are going to be your best options there, Mike. Al, is a salesperson working for a Chevy and Ford. Do you think I should switch to Benz in car sales or car? Al, it just depends. I mean, sell a brand that you love. Make sure that it's a product that you love. And more importantly than that, find a dealership that you love, and a dealership that does business the way that you identify with. So I don't think the brand matters so much if you're at the right dealership and you love the product. Are there any penalties for getting out 6 months early? Yeah, there are. I mean, you've got your remaining payments. There would be an early payment penalty if you're not going into another lease by the same brand. So it just depends. There's a lot of variables there. Moto finance manager in the power sports industry. Love seeing the automotive side of things. Keep up the good work. I appreciate that. And thank you for the kind words. Brad has a 2018 TLX A spec. Nice. With 19,000 miles. Wow. Not miley at all, Brad. You work from home and only drive about 200 miles a month. Timing belt service is due because of age. Should I keep it or trade it for a Benz? That's a great question, Brad. That just comes down to personal preference. I mean, there's no right or wrong answer to that. I mean, the internet will tell you to keep your car, and if you love your car and you're happy with it, and you don't see the reason to get a new car, then don't. Hold on to it. You'll get a lot of good years out of that. If you have the itch, if you have the mental gymnastics happening in your head that make you want to get a new car, then go ahead and do it, right? I mean, there's just no right or wrong answer. It's whatever makes you happy, and obviously you want to always be within your means financially. You don't want to ever do anything crazy financially and put yourself in a bad spot. Ryan, attractive pay plans are more important than the product personally. Well, okay. I guess that's one way of looking at it. Sandeep, how do you think AI will impact your industry? I think that AI will be very helpful to our industry, because I think that it will be able to automate a lot of labor, manual intensive tasks that just are repetitive and time consuming and not very fun. So certain follow-up tasks and certain scheduling tasks can be picked up by AI and done more efficiently than with humans. Then that leaves the human side of the business more time to really connect with our clients, which is what we want. While he's rolled, I was planning on getting a C8 Corvette, but the AMG Sealy 53 is starting to win me over. Yeah, the Sealy 53s are hot. I'm just, we've been selling them like hotcakes. I love them. A great car for the money. And I'm really excited for those that need extra power. I think when we get that CLE 63 sometime next year, a lot of people are going to be really thrilled with that. Super important question, who makes that bow tie? Al, this is from, it's a great question, I can't remember. A very cool tie company sent this to me. I'll have to look it up. But I want to say, no, I don't want to guess and be wrong, but I will check it out for you. Very cool. Yo, is the AC fixed? Yes, the AC got fixed this morning, thankfully. Turk will take a GLC 350. Yeah, look, I will say this. Again, until I know exactly what I can and can't say, I'll keep it mild. But GLC 350 plug-in hybrids and GLE 450 plug-in hybrids are bananas good deals as of Saturday. They are bananas good deals. As soon as that law got signed, Mercedes-Benz stepped up to the plate. They are really, really tremendous deals. And look, I think it's best of both worlds because you get an EV for about 50, 60 miles of range if you want to drive it that way. If you just want to take advantage of the incentives and you don't even want a plug-in, just drive it as a gas car, never plug it in. But yeah, the programs are bananas good on the GLE 450s and GLC 350s. We have sold, I don't know, since Saturday now, how many? Like six or seven? It's pretty much all we've been working deals on. And for good reason. And for good reason. Al, thank you, good sir. By the way, how does Sacramento Benz? Used to be a Corvette specialist at an old store, but I'm Persian, so I feel like I can sell Benz. I don't know much about the Sacramento store. I don't know much about them. Did you ever find a stronger than Diamond's G-Wagon for your VIP client? We just might have. Stay tuned. Are you still hiring? Yes. Yes, but we don't do remote. Unfortunately, you would need to be in the you would need to be in the store. Do trade-ins with the aftermarket parts effect bring down the trade-in value? They can, absolutely. Depends on what kind of aftermarket parts you have. What about CLS? CLS doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately. How do you see the market in the fall? I don't know. I don't want to predict. You know, the further into the whole tariff thing we get, the closer we get to model year 2026s, and you know, these manufacturers are still trying to cut deals with the U.S. and maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't know, but it's just we are still unable to get real clarity on this. David, all manufacturers will step up on all remaining EVs sitting on all the lots for all you. Yeah, David, I mean, I would imagine that most manufacturers will be smart and they'll throw some extra money at the EVs to get them on the road, you know, ahead of the September 30th deadline. You know, again, we can never guess that for sure. That's a best guess, but can never be sure. All I know is that Mercedes is stepping up. That's very helpful. That gives us a great opportunity to get these cars on the road. I expect, based on the sales volumes that we have just in the 2 days that we've had these programs, that they're not going to last long. They just won't, because they have a huge incentive to get these on the road now and not to be left holding the bag in little less than 3 months. David, oh yeah, we just read that one. Hey, is Fletcher Jones in Newport Beach one of the top Mercedes-Benz dealers? Yes, Terry, they are still the #1 Mercedes-Benz dealership in the country. Why do I dress like Pee Wee Herman? Is that a bow tie question? If the answer is why do I wear bow ties, it's because nobody really wears bow ties, but hopefully that helps. Thank you everyone who's hitting that like button. I really do appreciate that. That's very, very helpful. Thank you for tapping the screen, especially over on TikTok. And everybody else hitting the thumbs up button. It really means a lot to me. I appreciate that. And welcome to any new followers today. It means a lot. Is the tax credit only for EV or also for hybrid? It's Jessica, it's for plug-in hybrids and EVs. And an important clarification, because I've had some misinformed clients or misinformed comments in my comment section. These are lease-specific incentives for most cars and every Mercedes-Benz, okay? Yes, these tax credits are available on certain cars if you were to purchase them, but plug-in hybrid, you can make the case to purchase. EV, just don't do it. Lease them, please. But the point is that the way that the previous law was written, the one that's being repealed, allowed for manufacturers or leasing companies to capture that tax incentive by leasing the vehicle in a way that they cannot capture it on a purchase. So for example, all of the Mercedes-Benz plug-in hybrids that have batteries that are above a certain size, and all of the EVs get that $7,500 lease cash that can be applied towards a lease. If you purchased any of those cars, none of them meet the criteria for that incentive. So they are lease only. I'm not telling you that because I want you to lease. I'm telling you that because that's the only way to get it. Okay? So Angelica, what are the pros of leasing? The pros of leasing are more car for less money, guaranteed exit strategy. You know exactly what your buyout will be down the road when you begin the lease, and then at the end of the lease you can decide if it makes sense to buy it out or not. And downside risk protection, that's the big one. So if the car that you buy doesn't end up holding value as well as you hope it does or expect it to, that's not your problem. You're not on the hook for that. If you get into an accident or have a fender bender and the car loses a lot of value for that reason, you're not on the hook for that, right? Leasing just gives you a ton of protection that you do not have when you buy a car. I can't make it any more simple than that. Gabby, so I have a Grand Cherokee currently, but I like the GLE, but what is the towing like? I have a 6x12 trailer I would need to be towed. A GLE should comfortably tow 6,500 pounds. Can you charge Mercedes at a Tesla charging station now? Yes, you can. There is an adapter that you can buy from a Mercedes-Benz dealer. It's about $189 plus tax, and that will give you access to the Tesla supercharger network, so that is a game changer. You used to be able to claim the $7,500 on taxes if you purchased instead of lease. Yes, William, that is true. That changed last year when the Biden administration passed the law that they passed that has essentially now been repealed with parts of the new bill. So the EV tax incentives that they passed were aiming on giving the incentives to cars that were produced in America or largely produced in America and were under certain MSRPs, and that meant that pretty much every luxury car did not qualify for those incentives on purchase. What's up, Colin?
Need your help, babe.
Okay, what are we doing?
First Energy Fleet, please, on the Mystic Blue.
First Energy Fleet.
And then did you pull that card so I can tag and bag it, please?
Colin, I know that you're losing sleep over this.
I will not leave this building tonight, nor will you, until that car's in inventory.
Okay, well, he is going through a bit of a situation as he described it to me, so I just need his blessing on what car he's taking back.
But we have
And
the PO.
then I have the PO, so we are fine. We're fine. I just am not doing paperwork twice.
What
Okay?
do you mean paperwork twice?
If I do paperwork now, with just I'm probably gonna have to send him a car on the ground. So I want to make sure I know what that car is. Buddy, I don't know. I don't work in his dealership. He's having a situation with
We're good.
Yes, we're fine. Car's already secured. It's just a matter of the logistics of the trade. All right? You're all...
Can you print that, please?
Can I print it? Whoa, geez. Anything else, buddy? Oh, come on. What the heck just happened? All right, let's see. Is this person local, or do we have to ship the car to them?
They are up front. One of your TikTok followers.
They're here?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sweet. Should I come say hi to them? No? What the hell was that?
It's just let me get this figured out, and then we'll decide who wants to say hi. Okay?
They follow me, but they don't like me? Is that what that is?
I had a bad experience with somebody.
With me?
No. Somebody.
Okay.
So we're working for, and that person's in the building right now.
Got it.
So.
Loud
Ryan,
and clear. Hello, TikTok.
how do I find out if my employer is part of the fleet program? Well, you could reach out to your HR department, or you can ask me and I can look. If anybody would like to ask, I will pull up that list and I will tell you now, Ryan, where do you work? And I will check. Thank you for sharing the live. Thank you to everyone who's hitting that like button. That's very, very helpful, and I really do appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Mark, can you lease a new Mercedes for $500 or less a month with just first payment down? Yeah, EQB for sure. And I'll be honest with you, GLC 350 plugins on a 24-month lease are getting pretty silly. That's all I'm going to say. Can I check Amplifon? Amplifon. Not seeing Amplifon on the list. Bad experience had to be with AMG Jared. Well, it could be. David, Doug, please, what is the lease cash now on EQE and EQS? I can't tell you that in here. Cannot tell you that in here. But I'm happy to tell you one-on-one. How many U.S. allocations for the 1980s edition G-Wagon? We don't have that information for certain, but I would expect probably 200 to 250. Money factors are set by the manufacturer. There are probably guidelines in place on what dealerships can do as far as marking them up. So, yeah, the sell rate could be negotiable depending on the dealership that you're doing business with, but the rate itself is not negotiable, no. Can you option ceramic brakes on a G63? No. Consolidated Nuclear Security, is that a company? Let's see, Consolidated Asset Management is on here, but no Consolidated Nuclear Security. Do you do battery health checks while appraising EVs? Depends on how old they are. We really haven't had any EVs that were super old. Lex, can I lease with a 670? Most likely, depends on what your overall credit profile looks like. Amcor part of the fleet program? Let's see, is Amcor packaging? No. Amcor rigid plastics? Yes. Don't know if that helps. It sounds like a stair step for the EV now on floor plan. No. How about UniFirst? Let's check out, we're just UniFirst. UniFirst Corporation, yes. Yes, UniFirst is on the fleet list.
One last favor.
What's up?
Can you show me a worksheet on the $6,000 incentive plus his PEP? And show me 60, 66, and 72 months. Because I told him we can go to like Huntington or BOA if you want to go with the this is the 6,000 plus your PEP.
Yeah.
But he's like, you don't think BOA or Huntington will get us 399? I'm like, probably not that low. I'm like, probably going to be in the mid to high fives. Correct?
Credit dependent, sure. But yeah, it's going to be nice.
He's a mechanical engineer for First Energy, so.
Nice, okay.
Yeah, so 60, 66, 72 months. Then there would be a $6,500 discount plus the discount we have, right?
Yep.
Right?
Doug, are you driving the 25 EQE or are you driving the EQS?
I'm driving an EQS.
Oh,
Never mind.
Engineer, all right, let's see. All right.
Not cooperating with you?
It is now, I got it.
So.
Trip got a 2025 GLC AMG Coupe today. Congratulations. That is a sweet ride. Love me some GLC Coupes. All right, so now we're going to look at the non-Mercedes-Benz programs, which is a better incentive, but
By
no
3
special
grand.
interest rates.
Correct.
Thoughts on Geely 450 Coupes? John, I really like the 450 Coupe. At first, I wasn't really sure what the point of it was, and then when they got here, I realized that it's really a totally different vibe than the AMGs.
Why is the dealer discount $12,000?
Stop. What? Oh, it combined the two. Hold up.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's not do that.
Do you have the... Why did it do that? That's weird.
Should be 6,500 and
Hold up.
6691, right?
No. What? Let me look at what we had before. Yeah, the system is wigging out on me
That would have
here.
been bad. Right?
Yeah, it would have been. 399. Let me look at. Go to vehicle details. Yeah, it was okay.
6691 and then 6500.
Yep, I got it. Thank you for checking that over.
Okay.
I don't know how that even
Yeah,
happened.
That would have been bad. Been a very costly mistake.
All right, do you ever tell someone not to buy a car if the financing is too high? Yeah, we don't run into that very often. but
Not our decision to make.
we will give people our best recommendation, but again, it's up to them what they want to do. Ever done a deal with the American Bar Association discount? Yes, absolutely, Sydney. That is a membership program that if you are an active member of the American Bar Association, then you would qualify for the same fleet incentives as the ones that we're talking about for other companies here. Any deals on the GLE 450? Anita, that depends on what GLE 450 you're asking about. GLE 450 regular and plug-in hybrids, yes. Coupes, no. Do you ever tell someone not to buy a car? We asked that one, all right. All right, thanks for the videos. Was able to make a decision on my new car and got a less than 5% rate on a 2025 with 200 miles. Very awesome. Congratulations to you. Doug, check your messages. I work with OptiCam, which is a non-cancelable safety product that protects cameras and sensors. Thank you. Appreciate that. Do you all use Dent Wizard up there for recon? We do use Dent Wizard from time to time. Dylan, thank you for the heart me. Kevin, what's going on? Kevin Moreno in the house from down in Columbus. Good to see you, Kevin. Thanks for stopping by. Debating between an SL63 AMG and a GT Coupe. What's your advice? Well, it depends on whether you like convertibles or coupes. I particularly like convertibles, but I know not everybody does. But can't really go wrong either way. They're both incredible cars. They're essentially different versions of the same platform. CLA 250 lease prices. CLA 250s are very competitive right now. What do you think of Lexus? I think Lexus is a great brand. I think that they have they took a winning formula from Toyota and they dressed it up and made those cars a little bit more luxurious and special. And given how my feelings on Toyota, I think it's an absolutely fantastic brand. So Lexus, not surprisingly, is a great brand as well. GLA 250, GLA 250s, CLA 250s, GLB 250s, those are all excellent cars that are well incentivized. A very good way to start with the brand, get your foot in the door. So those cars have good programs on them. So do C-Class. The C-Classes have great programs, and the C-Class is one of my absolute favorite ways to get introduced to the brand without going too hard in the paint with your first vehicle. Thoughts on the GLB, Sydney? I like the GLB because I think that it's, for an entry-level vehicle, the most utilitarian option that we have. They're boxy and they're kind of sporty and fun. They've got good space, so GLBs tend to do well. GLA's a little bit less expensive, but they're quite a bit smaller. So GLBs would work well for a small family. GLAs might be more for a 1 or 2 person family. C43 AMG 2023. I don't know if that was a statement or a question, but I like it. Is Ryan still a sales manager? No, Ryan actually retired from the car business on the dealership side a couple months ago. He's now working for a vendor. He just wanted to get more of a Monday to Friday type schedule. He's got, a couple of kids that are getting older, and he wanted to be more available for them. So I totally understand, and retail is not for everybody. It can be a difficult business with the hours for sure. Rick, have you considered writing your own book like the Joe Verdi book I read back when I was first selling cars? Rick, I've not considered that, but I'm flattered that you would even ask. I don't know that I could fill an entire book with my thoughts, but who knows, maybe I could. Any EQS on the lot? We do. We have a couple of EQS sedans, a couple of EQS SUVs. EQS SUVs are extremely rare now. Mercedes has scaled back production big time on EVs in general, and the EQS SUVs have actually higher demand than they do supply right now. In fact, when I ran a locate over the weekend, I believe there were only 28 EQS 450 SUVs in the entire country, and we had one of them, which we have now sold. And I know how scarce they are because I've had about 5 dealerships try to trade for that. So to everybody out there that says that these EVs won't sell without huge incentives, I would tell you that I don't believe that, because if supply is sufficiently low, then the people that really want those cars without the need for massive incentives will buy them anyway. And I think that right now on certain models, what you're seeing is that with proper supply, they will sell without too much help, right? So I think when you have oversupply, and you have, that's just supply and demand 101, but when you've got way more supply than you do potential buyers, then yes, you're gonna have to over-incentivize to keep them flowing. Maria keeps her Mercedes for 8 to 10 years with a price cap of $65K. What would you recommend? Maria, I would look at a GLE. If you look for like an SUV, a GLE 350 would be a really great option for you. They hold their value well. They're very reliable. They're, I think, the Goldilocks SUV for us. They're just the right size for most people. I think you'd be very happy with a GLE. Either that, or you could get a super loaded GLC. That's a popular option. Sometimes we see people that are downsizing in cars. Maybe they've got kids that are off to college. They really like to go for a super loaded up GLC because they get all the bells and whistles that they could ever want in a little bit of a smaller package. So, will the GLE get a facelift for 2026? Gabby, the GLE will get a facelift for calendar year 26, but that not model year. So a lot of confusion on this. Next year, model year 2027, the GLE will get a facelift. So yes, in 2026, but not model year 2026. So the upcoming 2026 GLEs and GLSs will be carryover models. $50K enough of a down payment? I didn't see the first part of the question, but $50,000 is a lot of money to put down on just about any car. Chris, what's the benefit of having American Express? I hear this in your videos a lot. Yeah, Chris, I apologize for the confusion. Those are videos that were filmed last year. American Express is no longer a partner program of Mercedes-Benz. But AAA, Sam's Club, and a lot of other various programs are part of that program. Billy the Car Kid, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. And thank you to everybody that's a new follower today. If you're not following already, I would kindly and humbly ask for a follow. And please make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button and that like button. That really does help me a lot, and I really greatly appreciate it. Can you enter sales leadership or any kind of management in the car industry with no industry experience? I mean, Matt, I'm not going to say that you can't. I think with the right, if you were connected or had the right dealership opportunity, I'm sure it's possible. I don't think that it's super likely, but it is possible. When will your dealership be number one? Well, we have a big hill to climb to take down Fletcher Jones in Newport Beach, but every day we're working at it. Just need Colin to sell more cars. Right, Colin?
Absolutely. Hi, TikTok.
What's happening with your people? They leave?
They did.
Weak.
I was waiting for you to say it. I was going to come in and do it for you.
Why'd they leave?
Got to think about it.
Why? Do you want to tell them? No, of course you didn't.
Can we?
What'd they say? Just be honest with me.
I am being honest with you.
Okay, then what'd they say?
They're still looking at the X7 when that car did save her life last month.
What car?
She was in a horrible accident. X7 with the kids in the car.
Oh God,
So
I didn't know that.
55 miles an hour.
Okay.
So, but BMW Acura does not have any X7s, the packaging she wants.
Okay.
Nor does Gatling. So.
Got
They
it.
Try something different. They Googled us. Obviously, follow you.
Okay.
Big on safety features.
Sure.
And BMW doesn't offer a blue like that anymore, like Mystic. So.
Got it. Okay.
And it has the interior she wants. It does not have flowing lines, which is a bummer for them, but it does
Yeah.
have everything else. But no, super nice people. Drove in from Hudson, so
Joey Joyce wants to know, can Colin sell me a car? Sure.
yeah.
He can try. I don't know if he will, but he. Don, what's going on, brother? How can I help you?
My favorite person in the dealership, ladies and gentlemen. We're live right now. We gotta be careful.
I'm live, so yeah, just keep it
Oh,
PG.
good, glad you're here. He does not. It's all, he has a debit card to those accounts. That's where he banks. He does not have a traditional bank account, but he has got checks to those. He has.
That's fine and all, which I can update them on that, but is all that in investment accounts? That's the question, because if he's putting 80% of that in, I understand he's banking with them, but if pretty much all his income
He
is
says
going into investments,
All that is accessible that he sent us.
or it's an investment, of course, you can sell off stock whenever you want, it's.
No, he said.
Just this poor CLE kid.
Point is that the lenders do not look at investments as the same level of liquidity as money sitting in a checking or savings account.
Correct.
Well, I'm wondering what amount of that is liquid is what I'm
I'm
asking.
venturing just about none of it, that's the point of what the bank is saying
Well,
right
it has
now,
to be,
yeah.
how's he paying bills and how's it, it's none of it's liquid.
Well, if he only needs $1,000 a month to survive, or
Yeah.
$1,500 a month, which a lot of these finance guys that are investment
All right,
type stuff,
I just need to move on from this one.
His cost of living might be very low, right?
yeah.
Wearing a bow tie makes it harder to sell cars because people will think you're trying to be a smartass, and it looks dorky. Okay.
All right,
Wow.
Well, that's what Ragnar thinks. All right, Ragnar, I appreciate the feedback.
All right, Ragnar.
I like the bow ties. People seem to like them, and if people think that I'm trying to be a smartass, then okay, right? I mean, I can't change the way people feel about me, and I don't think I don't know. I guess if the bow tie makes you feel that way, then it makes you feel that way. Fearsome Joy, I've been looking at the Alpina, but talk me out of it. Well, I don't ever want to talk anybody out of anything. I mean, I think that the Alpina is a really awesome choice, right? I mean, I always just will say that the thing about cars, they're totally subjective, right? So whatever makes sense to you might not make sense to somebody else, but I think we've got some great options. Jeff, what's going on? Thanks for stopping by. Always nice to see you here. Appreciate your support.
Since I don't sell cars,
What?
I would love to sell that person a car. You just mess with me.
All right. All they got to do is send in a lead and request Colin. Boom.
And many people have, and it's worked out well. We took care of Robert and his wife, and
Yeah, Colin has
took care
sold a
of
lot of
Dr.
cars.
Brown, and
Cars are like clothes. Everyone has their own vibe. Ross, I agree with you entirely. Mark, anti-bowtie comic can go buy a Chevy. All right. Well, I don't think he'd want to because that is the bowtie logo, isn't it?
Mhm.
Brother, a bow tie is not your face. LOL, can be changed. Only college lecturers wear it now.
It's
No, come on. Look, I think they're fun. If you don't, that's fine. I'm looking at a 2014 Alpina B7.
great car.
Very cool. Little old for me. I get a little nervous about older cars, but that's just me. What are the Geely incentives this month, Cinder? They are various. I can't specifically say them here, but I will tell you that, Geely non-coupes are well incentivized. So, programs are good right now. Now is a good time to be in the market for a car. I'll leave it at that. Don't you think Jared looks like Beavis? I've never heard anybody make that comparison before,
He
but
looks like Invader Zim for my Nickelodeon
All right.
people.
Okay.
What? I'm not being
All right,
nasty.
Colin. Invader Zim.
Is a great television show.
Good Lord.
What?
Nevada, appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to do a live show. I appreciate you saying that. Thank you. It's always a pleasure to come on here and chat with all of you.
You're so special.
Sandor, greetings from Hungary. Thanks for stopping by all the way from Hungary.
It is late there.
Yeah, it is. What's the strangest car you've taken in on trade? I don't know. They all kind of blend together. Taking in some weird ones,
The Kia
but
Sorento that hadn't run for 4 years.
yeah,
That
I
we give
mean,
$100 for.
yeah, we've taken in some old cars that don't run. I always love when we take in smart cars. I love smart cars personally.
The Mini Cooper got a lot of positive vibes back in January.
Yeah, that's not weird though. Mini Coopers aren't weird. They're cool. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something that was really memorable and unusual, but Matthew, please have your sales staff help you get out of your GX460. We'd love to, Matthew. If you go to the link in my bio and send in a lead to the Work with Doug Horner and team, we'll get right on that. I said I have $100. What? Oh, yeah, it was $100 that we gave somebody on trade for a car that hadn't run in 4 years. I mean, really, at that point, the car was worth absolutely zero. It just was a courtesy to take it off their hands and get rid of it. BMW X1 or GLB, I'm leaning towards the X1 M35i. Changed my mind. Well, Benjamin, that's really going to come down to personal preference again. Okay, so again, I really don't love when people ask me to compare one car versus another because honestly, BMW makes a great product, and if you like that look better, you like a sportier vibe versus a more luxurious vibe, then go with the BMW. If you want more, luxury and maybe a little bit more tech, then maybe the Mercedes will speak to you more. But there's no right or wrong answer. It's whatever makes you happiest, and there could be at times incentives that come into play. Maybe one's a better deal than another, but it just comes down to what makes you happy. Mark, in all seriousness, love the content. You know MB inside and out, and it's nice seeing a manager in this business take pride in what they do and take the time to learn everything that they can about their brand. Mark, I appreciate you saying that. I really do love what I do. I love this brand. It is just, it's 14 plus years now with Mercedes-Benz, and I have loved every minute of it. And doing this now has been such a fun way for me to connect with the car buying community on a grander scale. I just don't have time to do it kind of one-on-one anymore. And this has really given me a platform to chat with all of you and hopefully educate and give you a behind-the-scenes look at what does go on in a dealership, in a sales manager's office, and also mostly we just want to show you and prove to you that it doesn't have to suck to buy a car. That's really the goal. Is Mass Mutual in the fleet program? Let's look that one up. I want to say they were at one point in time. Mass Mutual Life Insurance Company, yes, Mass Mutual is on the fleet list. Does Bill Nye send you money every Christmas? No, but that would be cool. He doesn't read this chat, guys. Yes, I do, Beatfax. It's just a lot of chats and a lot of questions that come in, so I am not going to be able to see every question that comes in. I could see you having your own TV series like The Office. That would be cool. That would be very cool. How many vehicles did you move for June? I don't have that number in front of me. June was definitely a little bit more of a challenging month, but I think we did about 75 new. Any Maybach in stock? Yeah, we've got Maybachs in stock. Any tips on how to get cold call leads to come into the shop? I don't know a lot about. We don't do a ton of cold calling. I don't know who you're cold calling, but there needs to be some kind of call to action. There needs to be a reason for the call. Yellow Sealy 53, is that something I need to order? I can't find any dealer lots. Yes, Adam, that is a new color for model year 2026, so you wouldn't be able to get that for 2025. So that would have to be a custom build, and we can certainly help you with that if you're interested. Why is leasing with the intention about a bad idea? I'm just saying you don't want to go into it with being dead set on buying it out, because you might get to the end of the lease and the car might be worth a lot less than your buyout, in which case buying it out would just be lighting money on fire, and I wouldn't recommend it. So is Hewlett Packard Enterprise? I'm almost certain they are, but I will check, and I'm going to end it there. Hewlett Packard Enterprise, yes, they are. So thank you to everyone for hanging out. Thank you to everybody who's a new follower today. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who hit the thumbs up button and the like button. That means everything to me. And I love coming on here and doing this. I'm going to hop off and wrap up my day. But again,